granniopteryx, granniopteryx. She knows the truth, she's linking every link.
Hello, this is a pre-recording because right now I do hope I'll be on a march in central London against anti-Semitism. That's right, I had originally arranged to come to London to visit the kids and to go on the march on September the 13th, and I'm still going to do that, and I hope to see as many of you there as can make it to London. But then I discovered there's another march today, Sunday the 7th of September, against anti-Semitism, and I'm taking part in that too. Because they're all bound together, you know. And it's entirely appropriate, considering I shall be demonstrating against this very same poison, that I'm going to be talking about a repellent comment made in a parliamentary speech likening a Jewish man to a dog. Well, likening anyone to a dog is pretty bad, but for a Muslim to do that, that's got another dimension to it. And I'm sorry to say it appears to prove that you can take the man out of Pakistan, but you can't take Pakistan out of the man. Right, I'm Granniopteryx. Please like this video. Please share it, even though it probably will get me into trouble. And please subscribe to my channel. If you want to help me financially, of course, that's very nice. And you can do that on any of the platforms listed in the description. Really, but liking and sharing is really very important. All right, let's talk about Ayub Khan. So, Ayub Khan, by the looks of things, here's an MP who is a highly intelligent man. He started off getting a BSc in chemistry, then he became an engineer, and finally he went into law and is a barrister at Lincoln's Inn, which is no walkover to be admitted to. As we would expect, he has an educated voice, and if my eyes were closed, he'd sound like your typical public school Englishman. He seems to be a model of integration and a stalwart of British culture and civilization. And then he stands up in Parliament and he refers to the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, as a dog. Yes, a dog. Let's have a look at that, should we?
Deputy Speaker, despite all the protestations that we've had from that dispatch box by the Foreign Secretary, by the Prime Minister and others, it seems that Israel and Benjamin Netanyahu will stop at nothing. Just like a dog who's tasted blood, Netanyahu can only be stopped by military intervention. But my question to the Foreign Secretary...
Yeah. The administrative head of a country with which Britain has very strong military ties which are advantageous to Britain and which shares invaluable regional intelligence with us. And let's face it, when you look at David Lammy, our Foreign Secretary, you might be tempted to consider that it seems to be all on one side and that Israel isn't benefiting as much as Britain is in an exchange of intelligence. But yes, it isn't only intelligence. Israel supplies huge amounts of generic medicines to our National Health Service, which saves us around £3 billion a year. Israel also collaborates in science, research, innovation, and especially cyber security, and cooperates with our various military services on counter-terrorism and, as I said, intelligence, and is in many ways an absolutely essential part of the British economy and security. And this MP refers to the Prime Minister of that country in just about the most debased way a Muslim can possibly speak. And when a Muslim refers to someone as a dog, that's serious. It's far more serious than most people raised in a Christian society can imagine. And talking about Christians, this is what was happening to Christians in Syria just a few months ago.
Watch this. Bark like a dog. Go ahead. They're making Christians crawl and bark like dogs
as they beat them and shoot them.
simply for being Christians in Syria.
They turned those Christians into dogs and then felt good about shooting them. Old men and young were made to crawl and bark like dogs before they were shot, and Ayub Khan called Netanyahu a dog. Even worse, the speaker, whose job it is to moderate the language of the debates. As little as 4 years ago, this happened in the debating chamber.
Exploit. And I know she speaks for a lot of her frontbench colleagues when she says that. You just need to see it in the support, U-turn, oppose approach that's characterised their hindsight-heavy behaviour. But, excuse me, did the Honourable Lady just call me scum?
Order! 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 From the front bench, we will not have remarks like that. Not under any circumstances, no matter how heartfelt it might be. Not at all.
How outraged the speaker was when it was said that Angela Rayner had called that MP making a speech scum, Tory scum. The speaker was obviously profoundly shocked by even the possibility of such language cropping up in the House of Commons. And 4 years later, Ayub Khan calls a foreign ally a dog, and nobody turns a hair. And one of the reasons I'm using the Jewish Chronicle here is because I didn't see it in the Telegraph or the Guardian or any of the other papers. Might have turned up, but it certainly wasn't a splashy headline. Now, whatever anyone watching this video thinks of Mr. Netanyahu, a British MP calling him that sort of name, that in Islam is just about the filthiest thing you could think of, and something worthy only of violent termination. That's a falling off that speaks very ill of how the quality of our MPs has deteriorated in just 4 years, and even from someone as obviously intelligent and incredibly well educated as Ayub Khan. And it's not only Mr. Khan's primitive name-calling that'll cause the damage, but also the reaction, or rather the lack of reaction, of the British political establishment. It'll have done immense harm to whatever is left of cooperation between our countries, and it will definitely not benefit us. And surely a British politician should be first and foremost concerned with what benefits the British people. A British politician should be most concerned with what benefits the British people and should be thinking of moderating his language in the interests of the British people. And yet we have here an example of a British politician obviously far more enthusiastic about furthering the interests of his religion and the intemperate politics of the land of his birth than he is in maintaining at least a civilised level of discourse with a country which has become essential to British security and even to the health of our citizens. Indeed, it appears that the security and health of our citizens is an entirely secondary consideration to this particular politician. Unfortunately, he isn't the first. As you will remember, in a victory speech of a councillor who won a local election to represent Hare Hills, his first and only words were not about Hare Hills at all.
This is a win for the people of Gaza who have been... We will not be silent. We will raise the voice of Gaza. We will raise the voice of Palestine. Allahu Akbar.
Nothing there about bus services, potholes, rubbish collection, local ecology. He is, after all, running for the Green Party. No, That was a councillor for Hare Hills, and this chap here is an MP for Birmingham Perry Bar. 2 different politicians, 2 different constituencies, and 2 different levels of education, and yet it appears one single goal, and that goal is quite obviously not the welfare of the United Kingdom. And that's why I'm marching on Sunday the 7th. Till next time. You can help my channel by subscribing and clicking the notification bell. That's quite important. And by sharing if you're so inclined. Links to my other channels and to donation methods are in the description. But the best way you can help is simply by clicking like and notify. Thank you.